Imagine waking up one morning and everything feels different. The color of your bedroom wall is weirdly brighter. Sunlight isn't yellow anymore. It's like the whole world got a visual upgrade, but no one else seems to notice. You're not hallucinating. Your brain has just unlocked a new sense. Reality itself got an update, but only for you. Now, here's the big question. What would happen if humans could add new senses? Not by mutation or chance, but consciously, like updating the operating system of the brain. A world that's been the same for millions of years suddenly downloads version 2.0. It's like running your favorite game on ultra graphics and realizing, wow, it used to look terrible. Imagine having a switch that turns on your magnetic sense, a built-in GPS that lets your brain feel north even with your eyes closed, or infrared vision, where you can see people's body heat glowing in the dark, or ultraviolet vision, where the world bursts into colors that don't even have names yet. But can the human brain actually handle that? Or will it overheat like a laptop with too many tabs open? Someone once said, humans are the smartest species on Earth. But if we're talking about sensory powers, we might barely beat a goldfish. See, lots of creatures are already living in a more upgraded version of reality. We think we see the full picture, but really, we're staring through a tiny window and calling it the whole world. Take migratory birds, for example. They have something called magnetoreception, the ability to sense Earth's magnetic field. They don't think where north is, they feel it. Scientists say some birds have molecules in their eyes called cryptochromes that react to magnetic fields. In other words, birds can literally see direction. Meanwhile, we're still spinning in circles in the desert looking for Wi-Fi. Then there are pit vipers, snakes that see infrared. They can detect heat. So when a mouse moves in total darkness, to them, it glows like a red neon sign. A thermal reality we can only experience through fancy cameras. For them, night is just another kind of daylight. For us, it's flashlight time. And bees can see ultraviolet light. Flowers that look plain white or yellow to us are neon landing pads to them. Flashing signs that basically say, free pollen, today only. What's just a daisy to you is a 5-runway airport to a bee. Each of these senses builds a completely different version of the world. A snake, a bee, a bird, each lives inside its own reality. And us? We're stuck in low-resolution HD reality. So the real question is, can we unlock those filters too? Or is the human brain just the free trial version of perception, and the rest of the senses are behind a paywall? Let's be honest, the human brain is a masterpiece, but a masterpiece with limited RAM. It's like a supercomputer that still runs on Windows 98. Add one more sense and you either have to delete something else or upgrade the hardware. Every sense we have today is the result of millions of years of brutal negotiations between nature and survival. The brain only bothers with stuff that keeps us alive. Sight? Good for spotting lions or not getting hit by a bus. Hearing? Great for detecting danger. Smell? Perfect for knowing when lunch is burning. Ultraviolet? Infrared? Cool, but useless for survival. Why would you need to see your cup of tea steaming when your brain already knows it's hot just by touch? As nature would probably say, if you needed that feature, I'd have shipped it by now. But here's the thing. Seeing isn't enough. The brain also has to understand. A new sense means a new language of data. Imagine waking up one morning with a magnetic sense. At first, it's just weird. A strange tug in your head. You don't know if it's north, anxiety, or too much caffeine. It could take months of practice before your brain learns what that new signal means. And this has actually been tested. Scientists gave volunteers belts that constantly vibrated toward the north. At first, everyone said, it's just buzzing and I hate it. But after a few weeks, their brains learned direction. They could feel north, like an internal compass they never knew they had. So maybe our real limitation isn't biological, it's perceptual. We still don't know how to make meaning from more data. The brain can receive new senses. It just hasn't learned how to live with them yet. You wake up one morning, and somehow the world feels updated. The sounds, the sights, they're all the same, but sharper, deeper, alive. It's like reality switched to 4K, but only for you. You step outside without your phone, because now you don't need it. Your body is GPS. Your brain spins gently like a built-in compass, and when you're about to head in the wrong direction, a little inner voice whispers, wrong way, buddy. That's taxes. Happiness is to the left. At night, you finally realize darkness was a lie. Everything warm glows. People, animals, that poor laptop still overheating from last night. For a second, you think the city is alive, but then your brain starts gasping for air because now it's sensing every source of heat, including you. Then comes ultraviolet vision. The world flips into what can only be described as God's HDR mode. Flowers, clothes, the sky, everything bursts with patterns and hidden lines you've never seen before. But after a few hours, your brain groans, enough, the world's too loud. And that's when it hits you. Maybe reality has always been this loud, and we've just been living on its silent mode. At first, it was just a few people, curious, confident volunteers. They called themselves Human Version 6.0. They could feel north, see body heat, and almost smell Wi-Fi. But within a month, the rest of society started to panic because some people were now seeing the world better than everyone else. And there's nothing worse than realizing someone else is looking at the same reality as you, but in higher resolution. An invisible wall formed. Down below, the 5 sensors. Up above, the upgraded ones. The world split into the real stuff and the demo version. Even social media fractured. A new platform appeared, SenseNet, built for people who could post using magnetic perception. Their posts looked like random dots and dashes to the rest of us, but to them, it carried emotions, directions, and flows of energy. Their comments said things like, "Wow, the north in this one is gorgeous," and everyone else just hit like, pretending to understand, because they couldn't feel how beautiful north really was. Real life wasn't any better. Those with infrared vision stopped going to parties. They said people glow too much and their brains got exhausted by all the heat. Those with magnetic senses got nauseous inside metal buildings. The overlapping fields twisted like a nightmare inside a compass. Psychologists even coined a new disorder, high reality fatigue, a burnout for people who understand too much. Yet ironically, these same people became heroes of the new age. In rescue teams, in the military, in science, anyone who could feel north or detect a heartbeat from a mile away became a superhero without a cape. But the rest, they began to feel their humanity expiring. And that's when the biggest social question of the century appeared. If only some people can see reality, do the rest still live in it? A century has passed. No one asks, did you get a new sense anymore? The real question is, how many senses are active today? Humanity has entered the age of unlimited senses. Magnetic perception, infrared sight, even the ability to sense emotional temperature changes. A society where everyone perceives everything and, ironically, connects less than ever. Cities have been redesigned from the ground up. Traffic signs don't use color anymore. They speak through infrared and ultraviolet code. At night, streetlights stay off, yet the city glows. Bodies and devices moving through invisible rivers of light. The dark world we once knew has become one so saturated with information that an old-school human would find it blinding. Architects now plan around the city's magnetic map because people navigate by instinct, not by signs. Streets are curved to feel right. Getting lost is no longer a mistake. It's a cultural offense. And communication? It's no longer just words or looks. People express emotions through patterns of heat and microfields radiating from their bodies. Embarrassment isn't a blush anymore. It's a warm pulse everyone can feel. Lying? Nearly impossible. Infrared and electric skin changes don't lie. As one philosopher of the era said, we left the age of lies behind. But we kind of miss it. Schools now teach a new subject, sensory literacy. Kids learn to filter their senses so their brains don't fry. Just like we once learned to turn off notifications, they learn to mute infrared when the world shines too bright. But there's a side effect. The clearer the world becomes, the less people trust each other because no one has secrets anymore. And humanity is finally realizing a huge part of peace came from not knowing everything. You walk through a six-sense city. Everything is brighter, the colors more alive, even the air is filled with patterns only you can see. Every corner of the city whispers to you, but no one is truly quiet. It's kind of like when your internet suddenly gets super fast, and you realize just how much useless content there actually is. That's what reality feels like now, except the filters are gone. The sky used to just be blue, the ground just brown. Now everything carries 1,000 colors and 1,000 signals. Light, fields, scents, heat. Your brain's trying to figure out what all this means, but it feels like the world has officially resigned from being understandable. Psychologists have a name for it, the perceptual bubble. Everyone lives in their own version of reality. You see a landscape full of glowing energy lines. Your friend sees the same view, flat and plain, and now you're arguing over which one's real. Everyone lives inside a different download of the world, and the only thing you all agree on is that you're all confused. That's when philosophers suddenly become popular again. Finally, their time to shine. Poets write, "I saw a new color, but lost the meaning of the old ones." And the philosophers ask, if everyone builds their own world, then what is truth? Maybe, just like we once thought Earth was the center of the universe, we'll now think our perception is the center of reality. But with every new sense, another piece of that arrogance falls away, and a sobering truth emerges. We don't see the world as it is. We see it only as much as our senses allow. The human brain is a masterpiece, but like all masterpieces, it crashes sometimes. 86 billion neurons all chatting at once. But even a genius has bandwidth limits. Our 5 current senses are already too much sometimes. You go to a mall or a subway, a kid screaming, lights are flashing, the smell of fast food is everywhere, and your brain's just like, reality, please shut up for a minute. Now imagine adding 3 more senses. Infrared, ultraviolet, magnetic. Billions of new signals pouring in every second. A hurricane of perception. One moment you're feeling direction, the next you're sensing people's body heat, and suddenly you realize the wall beside you has a live power cable, and your brain screams, "Enough! I'm tasting north!" Scientists call this sensory flooding. A kind of data intoxication where the brain stops separating information and just drowns in it. Like when your laptop has 40 tabs open and the fan sounds like it's questioning its life choices. But here's the strange thing. With training, the brain can learn to filter. In one real experiment, volunteers wore special belts that constantly vibrated toward the north. At first, they said it was just annoying, but after a few weeks, their brains translated the vibration into a sense of direction. Their minds literally built a new sense. All it needed was time. So maybe the secret of survival in the future isn't having more senses, but knowing which ones to turn off, a kind of digital detox from the mind. Future humans might wake up, switch on their magnetic sense, turn off ultraviolet so the flowers don't blind them at sunrise, and around noon get a notification. Warning, inference sense overheating, drink coffee. And that's when you realize more perception doesn't always mean more understanding. Sometimes you have to dim reality just to see it clearly. Let's start with art. There was a time when artists fought to make people see. Now they're fighting to keep people from feeling too much, because every new artwork could literally make you dizzy. A new painting, for example, isn't made with just paint. It's woven with ultraviolet and infrared waves. To normal humans, it's just a blank white canvas, but to the upgraded ones, it's a storm of invisible light. One painter says, "My new piece only makes sense if you activate your magnetic and ultraviolet sense at the same time." Basically, augmented reality, but without the headset. Your brain is the GPU. Art galleries have new sections now. The thermal hall, spectral vision room, magnetic experience space. You walk in and the first thing you see is a sign that says, "If you don't feel anything, update your firmware." And in advertising, absolute chaos. Brands no longer target your eyes, they go straight for your senses. A coffee company, for example, releases a subtle magnetic pulse that makes your brain feel morning warmth before the cup even reaches your hand. Perfumes emit UV glows tuned to your mood, so your smell of emotion feels more real. Marketing has become literally multi-dimensional, just one step away from legal mind control. But nowhere has the change hit harder than in love. You can't fake calm anymore. Your body heat betrays you. You can't say, "I'm fine," when your magnetic field screams, "No, I'm not." Falling in love is getting harder because your body is now a walking lie detector. A modern date, someone looks at you and their brain feels your heartbeat. You smile and they instantly know whether you're genuinely excited or just running on social mode. Love in this world is more transparent, but maybe also colder, because no one's a mystery anymore. As one SenseNet user put it, back then, to understand someone, you had to guess. Now, you just feel, and that ruins everything. No invention ever came without its dark side. Fire gave us cooking and war. The internet gave us knowledge and conspiracy theories. And now, new senses give us awareness and brain-level deception. It's called neuro-hacking, hacking perception itself. Companies are racing to build algorithms that work directly on your senses. Old ads targeted your eyes and ears, new ones target your brain's input ports. A coffee ad might now send a magnetic pulse that makes you feel human warmth, even if you never take a sip. You didn't drink the coffee, Your brain did, and that's just the beginning. Fake news isn't just on social media anymore. It's inside your neural feed. An infrared signal can make a video feel more real than reality. Truth is no longer decided by consensus. It's a matter of neural calibration. New crimes are appearing too. Hackers who scramble people's magnetic sense so they lose direction. A viral prank called #SpinHack, malware that makes the victim unable to tell where north is for 3 days. Funny, until you realize someone crashed their car because of it. Even worse, there's a new addiction, sensory high. People download apps to simulate fake sensations. One popular one builds an infrared euphoria, a kind of high without drugs, just pure signal. Netflix for your brain, but with a subscription fee. You say, one more episode, your brain says, one more sense. And society, it's split in two.
The neural
Those who
interface
control their
is
senses,
unbelievable.
and those whose senses control them. Humanity has reached the peak of awareness and is slowly developing an allergy to it. As humans unlock new senses, something unexpected happens. Our spiritual world updates too. The more we see, the more the old questions return. Scientists cheer. The brain's running its next version. Philosophers ask, if perception changes, what even is reality? Is truth just what our brains can handle right now? Religions split. Some call new senses God's gateways, a step toward divine perception. Others warn, you're tampering with creation. If we were meant to see infrared, we would have. New temples glow in infrared. Prayers align with true north. A cult called the Worshippers of Direction claims the magnetic sense is the compass of the soul. And through all the noise, one truth stays standout. Every new sense uncovers more of the universe and costs us all a little more peace. Centuries later, chips are gone. Senses are genetic. Children of Homosensoria are born seeing heat, feeling magnetism, reading electric fields. Cities pulse with living maps of light and energy. Silence and darkness are now luxury products. Schools teach sensory geometry. Some minds break under too much input, called perceptual fracture. Others pay to sit in zero rooms with no light, no signals, no data. After millions of years chasing more awareness, humans find peace again in not seeing. We never saw reality itself, only what our brains let through. Maybe the world was always in human simplified mode. Maybe everything we know is just a beta test. So, one last question. If you could add one new sense, which would it be? To see what others can't? To hear their thoughts? Or to turn it all off for a minute of silence? Drop a comment with your choice. Maybe it's the next step in human evolution.